latest report says Alec Murdaugh has gotten in trouble at his South Carolina prison yard. Apparently, he was caught. I'm going to say he was caught probably doing this 2 weeks ago, just from what I know. One of the things he was caught doing that's against the SCDC policy was contacting his lawyer and like giving his statements for the lawyer to pass along for some interview or some documentary, something like that, someone was trying to do. And so he's giving his, notes and just his responses and answers. And he was caught doing that. And he's not allowed, this, according to the policy, inmates are not allowed to speak with anyone from the media without permission from SCDC. So that's what he got in trouble for. Now, the way that works, the reason why I say he probably did this at least 2 weeks ago, first he'll get caught and he'll be served charge papers by the prison staff. This is just a notice of, hey, we're charging you with this. That's usually when it first hits you that, oh, I've been caught doing something. When you get your name called and you go down to the corrections officer's booth and they hand you that paper. And you see it and it tells you, hey, this is what we've caught you doing. So we're charging you with this. This is what the charge is called. And you have a hearing date. It's called the DHO board. And it's really just, it's a specific day of the month that it takes place. So there's probably 15 to 20 other inmates that all have to go on that day. It's like a court date within prison. And you're not going up for, extra time or anything. It's not like anything very serious can happen. Just if you're found guilty, you'll get consequences that relate to prison and privileges. And if it's pretty bad, you'll go to solitary confinement for, a certain number of days, depending on how, whatever you did. So everyone shows up in the morning, just kind of sits there. And the DHO board it's really just one guy, whoever is in charge of doing it on that yard. And they'll call everyone in one by one. And once Murdaugh goes in there, he's going to, have a tape recorder going, get him to state his name and his SCDC number, and just, do all the back and forth just to open up and begin this hearing. He'll allow Alec Murdaugh to say anything he needs to say or plea guilty or not guilty. And, if he wants to say guilty, that's that. If he wants to say not guilty, then he'll give him a chance to just explain why he's not guilty or say whatever you want to say. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, because it's not like a real court. The guy can just do it at, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of argument you make, or they'll just probably just say you're guilty, and there's nothing you can do about that. And you get what you get. Something minor like what Alec Murdaugh did. I mean, when you get solitary confinement, it's for something like a night. Usually, if you're going to get solitary, you're getting immediately taken to solitary. There's not going to be like a charge paper show up, when the CO is calling mail and stuff for all the inmates, and you got about 2 weeks before you got to go. No, if you got something like a knife or you fought, you hurt someone pretty bad, the more severe things, you're just going straight to solitary. So only time you'll see people really go to solitary from that DHO hearing is if they've been caught with a cell phone or something like that. And you kind of got to get caught 2 or 3 times within a year period before you'll get solitary confinement for that. So he's lost his tablet privileges and his phone privileges for 30 days. Now, if he was just a normal inmate who everybody wasn't watching everything he does, there's easy ways around that everyone does. And that's why it doesn't really bother anyone. They're glad when they get that consequence instead of going to solitary or anything worse. Because, you'll just use another inmate's PIN number to make your calls and whatever. And, is that allowed? No. But they don't, they're not monitoring people to see if they do that because nothing ever happens. But someone like Murdaugh, yeah, well, they'll probably be watching that. So he's not going to be able to do that. So yeah, he is just going to have to go without that. We know he loves that tablet. We know he loves to play his little video games on the toilet. We know he has a lot of fun on that tablet. So I don't know what he's going to do in there now for the next 30 days, but there's your newest report, newest update on Murdaugh tonight.